Last week, London declared talks with Brussels on a trade agreement are over. Now they should go on, because the economic prospects look bleak. The British government wants to continue the deadlocked talks on future relations with the EU. Negotiations could resume tomorrow in London, said a spokesman for Prime Minister Boris Johnson. There are still considerable differences in the most difficult areas, but the government is ready to try again. This increases the chance that a hard economic break with tariffs and trade barriers can be avoided at the turn of the year. On Friday, Johnson had accused the EU of not wanting an agreement. Therefore, he expects a break without a treaty, unless the EU fundamentally changes its position. And now, the U-turn. The British government justified its return to the negotiating table with a speech by EU negotiator Michel Barnier that morning. Barnier recognized important points for Great Britain, including respect for the sovereignty of Great Britain. In his speech in the European Parliament, Barnier had again offered the British government negotiations and said, "I think an agreement is within reach if we on both sides are willing to work constructively and in a spirit of compromise." From the EU perspective, there are only 2 to 3 weeks left because a treaty would then have to be ratified. Barnier said the EU is ready to step up talks and negotiate around the clock. The British side is also signaling its interest in a quick agreement as the economy on both sides is getting nervous. By the way, about this Parliament session in the European Parliament, many are just cherry-picking parts of it, whatever side they need that for. On Sunday, for the first time, I'll have a premiere on this channel. On Sunday, 4 p.m. CET, where I give you a full picture of the Parliament session and what the EU Parliament really says about all this. So join me there and watch the video together with me. But let's stay with the current news. There are fears of a deadline in trade, disruption of supply chains and the loss of tens of thousands of jobs due to tariffs and delays at borders. In the EU Parliament, Barnier also reported on the progress made in the talks, for example with a view to future police and judicial cooperation. There is also movement in some other aspects, such as the movement of goods, services and energy. However, it was imperative to make progress on 3 complex issues: the level playing field called for by the EU, the conciliation instruments for the treaty and for fisheries. These 3 points have been mentioned unchanged for weeks as sticking points. Barnier reaffirmed that the EU will stick to its stance until the end. "We will remain calm, we will remain constructive, we will remain respectful, but also firm and determined in defending our principles and the interests of each member state of the European Union and the EU itself." The transition phase will run until the end of the year, during which the UK still has free access to the EU internal market, and exports from the EU to the UK are not subject to any restrictions. If no commercial contract is concluded, duties and fees would place a heavy burden on the trade. The British voters in 2016 voted with a narrow majority in favour of leaving the EU. Great Britain then left the EU at the end of January 2020, but is still a member of the EU internal market and the customs union during a transition period until the end of the year. Only then does the economic break really come. And as I said, join me on Sunday at 4 p.m. CET on my first premiere on this Parliament session of the European Parliament. You will be intrigued, I'm sure. And if you now want to know more about European or global politics, YouTube has chosen another of my videos right here for you on the end screen, right next to your chance to subscribe to my channel, which I hope you already did. I'll see you in my next video. Click and enjoy. Viel Spaß!